Petrol or diesel, diesel versus petrol, this has been an age-old battle in the Indian car industry. Thankfully, in spite of BS6 norms, few manufacturers are offering both fuel types with their cars, including the new i20. It comes to you with one diesel and two petrol engine options. There is a turbo petrol for enthusiasts, and of course there is a 1.2 naturally aspirated petrol for the value-conscious buyer. So the big question, if you are in this market for a premium hatchback, should you buy a petrol i20 or a diesel i20? Of course, that one has a premium of approximately 1.4 lakh rupees, but it offers you loads more torque, better power and a higher certified fuel economy figure. So yes, once again my question, petrol i20 for you or the diesel i20 for you, and why? Well, let's start the video. Let's discuss the trims and versions on offer first. While the 1.2 petrol is available in all the four variants of Magna, Sports, Asta and Asta option, the diesel one is being offered in all but the Asta variant. Thankfully, the dual tone roof option is available in all but the Magna version. As you can see, Hyundai is maintaining a proper difference of 1.4 lakh for the 1.5 diesel over the 1.2 petrol for all the variants. In terms of design, there is only one differentiating element in both the options here. The diesel one gets a honeycomb pattern grille, while the petrol has a sharper jewel pattern for the grille. We are sure this is something most videos have left out or not noticed. The models you see here are the top-end Asta O version without the DT roof, and I must say the new i20 has moved on into the right direction of sportiness. The stance is bold, and though for some the first impression is loud, this thing turns eyes on the road pretty easily. Looks as good as the Ultros, and if you don't trust me, do click on the link you see on the screen right now. Like the exteriors, the cabin of both the 1.2 petrol and the 1.5 diesel are identical except for a 5-speed gear lever on the 1.2 petrol and a 6-speed on the diesel. We have explained the interiors in a better way in our walk around video. The link to that is currently on the screen as well as in the description section below. Do check that out after this video. So this gets us to the main important parameter: different hearts and different personalities. While the 1.2 petrol offers 83 bhp of power and 115 Nm of torque, the 1.5 diesel offers 25% larger capacity, 20% more power and more than double the torque. Yes, 110% higher torque. Unbelievable, right? So do the magical figures on paper, the impressive figures on paper, do they translate into a genuine good driving feel? In a word, yes. I will explain different parameters, starting with a phenomenon, a theory called or a fact called turbo lag. In a turbocharged engine, if the turbo is not spooling, especially in diesels, you do have lack of punch, lack of torque coming in at lower RPM, usually below 1800 or 2000 RPM. Below that, there is simply no poke in engine, and once the turbo spools, you are pushed back into your seat with a gush of torque coming in. So that is called turbo lag, and it is very bad for your city driving, where you want to close in on a gap but you are unable to do it, and when the turbo spools, you suddenly close into a gap. So it's not a very good feeling from a driver's perspective. But the diesel i20 seems to defy this term of turbo lag. I'm in the third gear, I'm at 30 kmph, 1100 rpm. It picks up speeds, there is no protest, no drama, no turbo lag. So yes, the earlier i20 had a hint of it, but this one is simply so good. So you want to potter around in traffic, you're in rush hour traffic, you don't have to work on the gearbox, you don't have to downshift every time you want some poke coming in. This one delivers. And of course, when you do come into the turbo zone, like right now, I think the last time a diesel hatchback gave me grinning moments was the Polo GT TDI, and The i20 diesel does that. It gives you ample low end punch, and when you want to enjoy, oh, this is torque. The mid-range is phenomenal. All those horses coming in, all that torque coming in is simply phenomenal. I'm genuinely very impressed with this. It's completely missing, of course, in the 1.2 naturally aspirated petrol. So yes, you spend extra and you definitely get grinning moments. In terms of the other factor is the steering, which remains slightly better than the petrol i20 because they have more weight up front. So it feels a bit more precise. So yes, at crawling speeds, it's light, but as you go slightly higher up at highway speeds or into these long flowing curves over here, demonstrate it. It feels planted, it feels responsive, it does what the driver wants the car to do. Of course, no denying the fact, purists will still love the Polo in terms of dynamics, but the way Hyundai has worked on its cars in the past, the Creta is a perfect example. The way they have worked on dynamics of the Creta and now the i20 is phenomenal. So you get best of both the worlds. You want an easy to drive car and the same car which should be enjoyable on weekends. The i20 does that. Next thing is the NVH levels. People think for a diesel car, the noise, vibration, harshness levels are going to be bad. But in the i20 is not the case. I'll demonstrate it again. I'll downshift into second, 3,500 RPM. There is no unwanted clatter coming in here. Now I'll go flat out. I can still talk to you. And now at 4,200 the boom becomes loud. But for your 95% of daily drive, the NVH levels are so sorted, you don't even come to know as a passenger at the back seat there's a diesel motor under the hood. So yes, NVH levels are sorted. So if you think diesel motors are noisy, no, that's not the case with the Hyundai i20. Also, kitna deti hai factor, I think very important, and I won't deny that. People still think about it. Hyundai claims it's the most fuel efficient 1.5. On economy run, it gave us 31 kmpl, and in the morning hours when I was doing fast commute outside of Gurgaon in flowing traffic, the display was showing us 22 kmpl. So yes, fuel economy is something that i20 definitely gives. It's a car that can be fun to drive, and yet it's responsible enough to make sure it delivers good fuel economy when you drive it with a light right foot. I just crossed a sharp speed breaker, and this also gets me to the point of your absorption capabilities. It's not plush, but definitely comfortable with a hint of underlying firmness, which you need in a good handling car. Once again, the breaker, yeah, there is just a hint of this firmness, not in a bad way, but if you tack corners at higher speeds or you drive the car with a full load of passengers, this firmness comes in handy. So yes, not plush, but very comfortable nevertheless. So I think my diesel experience with the i20 is summed up. Good torque, terrific mid-range, NVH levels are nice, and it's very efficient. Coming to the main important parameter over here, the driving feel of the 1.2. Yes, this segment of cars in the 5 to 10 lakh rupee bracket, more and more manufacturers are giving you the option of a powerful petrol or a very torquey diesel, and these engine options really make a difference to your daily drive or your weekend thrills. So yes, of course, the 1.2 naturally aspirated will not give you grinning moments or a thrilling drive as compared to the other two engine options in the i20, but I'm sure there are those set of customers who want an urban car, a spacious, feature-loaded, good-looking urban car, and for them, performance is not a priority. For them, it has to be smoothness. For them, it has to be the value for money tag. They may want a CVT, automatic. They would definitely want fuel economy. So in this regard, I think it's a clever job done by Hyundai to give multiple different engine options as per the buyer needs. As compared to the older 1.2 Kappa, this one is the advanced Kappa. There are some changes. I had the first generation i20 with me. It had the same 1.2 but in a different sort of avatar. So yes, immediately you do notice that it's a very quiet car. The NVH levels are superb even on the move. Your clutch action, your gear shift quality. So if you want a no-nonsense, really smooth, easygoing car for your urban needs, I think this one should definitely be on your radar. As compared to the earlier version, again, Hyundai has worked very hard on the fuel economy parameter. So yeah, 20 kmpl and whereabouts certified economy is definitely good for a car that offers you so much. Likewise, you also have the option to go for a CVT, which Hyundai calls as i20 in their own lingo. We haven't driven that, but from the people who drove the car, they're definitely very happy, very impressed with the CVT. CVT, of course, gives you extra power as well. 83 PS is for the normal manual, but with the i20 or the CVT, you get 88 PS. So yes, it is definitely a smooth operator for your city needs. The issue happens when you want to go fast, or you have a load of passengers, your AC is running, you want to close in on a gap. In that regard, I would definitely say the punch is missing. No two ways about it. As a customer, you should keep in mind that if such scenarios happen once in a while, it's okay. But if you want something that you regularly want to enjoy, you should look elsewhere, or you should look at investing a lakh extra into the 1.0 turbo option of the same car, and that will blow you away with the combination of fuel economy and punch. As far as this goes, it's all about being a smooth operator and efficient. Of course, when you go, it sounds nice. There's chirping of the wheels while shifting to the second gear, but overall, it just doesn't move as fast as you or I would have wanted the car to go. Of course, dynamically, it's improved from the earlier version. I was doing crazy speeds on this flowing corner right away at the back. But yeah, dynamically, it is definitely sorted, but flat out is not its forte. Once again, showcasing you the low and mid range of both the engines. In the 1.2 Petrol, as you can see, 30 to 65 in the third gear takes its own sweet time. In comparison, the diesel is simply unmatchable in the way it gathers speeds. Look at that! Before we end, here is a quick look at the petrol versus diesel fuel cost calculations. If you have a monthly running of say 2000 kilometers, assuming the petrol delivers 14 kmpl and diesel 17.5 kmpl, you would end up saving as much as 42,000 rupees annually. Plus, a better drive thanks to all that torque and extra power. But yes, if your running is less, savings too will be less. So there you go. I think this video explains the big battle of a petrol or a diesel car. Of course, if you have ample running to do, I would say over 1,600 or 1,800 kilometers on a monthly basis, the diesel makes sense. But yet there are some buyers who have less running to do, but yet they love the extra torque and the fuel economy from a diesel motor. I think this video should answer your queries as well. Of course, there are more such videos around the i20 on the channel, from a fuel economy run to a design comparison with the Ultras and lot more. So I would urge you to watch all those videos after this one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.